But if I can sort of be a voice for the voiceless and make people feel a little bit less lonely and a little bit more seen, then yeah, rock and roll.
Dude, you don't have to talk yourself. We will talk you up ourselves. You're good.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Gentlemen, I truly love this movie. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, Adam, I'd love to start with you. And I have to say, I hate the question, what do you hope people take away from this project? Because I feel it's a lazy question. But there is a moment in this movie that I loved where two characters are trying to figure out how to write a play about someone who is physically disabled. And they alternate between making him a hero and a victim before deciding to just write him as a guy, just write him as he is. So I want to talk about the importance of people with disabilities being able to just play people, not heroes, not villains, not victims, just who they are. So in the world of casting directors and writers and filmmakers, what do you hope Hollywood takes away from this story and your ability to just play a guy?
Absolutely. So the three stereotypes or archetypes that normally come, certainly my way, are the victim, the villain, and the false hero. And the more we can break those down and write very well thought through kind of 360-degree characters for disabled actors to play. I often say my disability is the least interesting thing about me. And so the more we can get into that mindset when we create, when we write, when we think, when we discuss, the better the representation is going to be. Because if you can't see it, you can't achieve it. And we also need more disabled people in the writing room, telling these stories, writing these stories, and having their input. If we're not getting it right off screen, we're never going to get it right on screen either.
Adam, I have to tell you, there was a great bar scene in this movie that really just left me wanting to have a beer with you, man. So whenever you have free time, pencil me in here in Chicago.
Done deal. We'll go to Giordano's.
Yes, my man. Yes. Sebastian, I want to talk to you about the value of having Adam around, the conversations that you have with him while you're developing this character. I'd love to know, what is an aspect of your performance, of your understanding of this guy, of your ability to pull off this character that would not be as good as it is if you weren't able to spend time with Adam and talk with him and maybe embed parts of him into this role?
Well, I think one of the big takeaways from me, and having had the pleasure of getting to know Adam, not just for this project, but just human to humans, I feel he really owns who he is, and I think there's certainly a lesson from that I personally can benefit from, but I think the idea of owning yourself, right, as it pertains to this film, this character, and for everyone out there, especially in this time, right, especially now where we seem to be really quite judgmental and hard. I think certainly younger people, hard, critical of anything different, any different opinion, thinking differently. It just seems like there's a real lack of support there for that, and so I think that is something that he's imparted to me that I'm very grateful for, and obviously. Having had him on this journey to sort of, as his mom kind of told me one point, is I've always wanted somebody to know what it would be like to walk in his shoes one day, and this might have been the closest I've ever gotten to do that. So it was the awareness of that, and I think it is something I'll never be able to, trade for, I guess.
This question is for all three of you. And Aaron, I'd love to start with you. I feel like so much of this movie is about people's preconceived notions versus oftentimes just the truth of a situation and the reality. And I love that this movie is yielding just really great conversations about our language and word choice and our actions. And I would love to know the most interesting reactions you guys have received from someone who's seen this movie that maybe emphasized how much this movie might have the power to change things. I'm sort of curious. I know it's sort of slowly rolling out at the festivals, but have there been any conversations where you've had to pause and go, okay, it's working. I think this is doing something?
I think there was a doctor who works with people with neurofibromatosis, and he happened to be at a screening. I don't even think he knew that the movie dealt with this issue. And and he said that it got it right, and that it gave him so much insight into his patients. So that was just a coincidence that surprised me.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages from people with neurofibromatosis, or from the wider visual difference disfigurement community, just saying thank you. I feel seen. I feel heard, and yeah, that means a lot to me, and that's something I kind of would gladly carry. If I can like somehow be, not to talk myself up or anything, but if I can sort of be a voice for the voiceless and make people feel a little bit less lonely and a little bit more seen, then yeah, rock and roll.
Dude, you don't have to talk yourself. We will talk you up ourselves. You're good. And Sebastian, do you have a favorite reaction you've gotten?
I think thank you is the biggest compliment you can receive here, you know, I also just feel that people really want something original. They want a film that's new, that sort of is fresh in a way. I think this movie really is very, very unique, and I think people are responding to that, and they're excited to go on a ride and just, you know, just that, again, for a movie that defies all their expectations, I suppose. So.
Well, I just want to say thank you. I very much wanted to cover this movie, and I begged A24, and they were kind enough to fit me in. So seriously, guys, I know you have an insanely busy day, but I really do appreciate your time, and I appreciate you guys making this movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.